and he talked about it. He said, I don't want to do an exhibition against Floyd Mayweather. He said, I'm only doing real fights. And of course, I can't get up high in weight, but I'll fight him in a real fight at the weight that I'm at.
Floyd Mayweather has once again caused shockwaves in the boxing world. This time, he urged Terence Crawford to avoid a fight with Canelo Alvarez in favor of facing him. In truth, such a fight would be classified as an exhibition, even if Mayweather does not explicitly state so. For Crawford, a clash like that does little to improve his already impressive resume. It contributes nothing essential to his quest for International Boxing Hall of Fame status. At most, it would be a low-risk, high-reward opportunity for the former undisputed welterweight champion.
Well, one thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money, and he's entertaining. I like it.
Is he, and Floyd?
Up, bro. Keep it a stack. Did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever keep it real, bro, keep it real.
I'm never that.
For reasons unknown to him, the boxing legend believes that a contest between himself and Crawford would generate more income than a Crawford-Canelo fight. At the heart of this effort is Floyd's ambition to finally settle the long-running debate over who is superior, especially since Terence Crawford is frequently identified as the fighter whose resume most closely resembles Mayweather's. That comparison has sparked several conversations regarding all-time brilliance. While such a battle may happen, the timing feels off, with Crawford still active and focused on leaving an even greater legacy. He's put in too much effort to secure a blockbuster opportunity with Canelo, making it difficult to fathom him walking away from that moment. Now,
always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fighting. I never looked at him.
Time and again, boxing fans have drawn analogies between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Terence Crawford, nonetheless, but has never attempted to undermine the legacy of the undefeated 50-0 legend. Crawford has consistently shown respect for Mayweather. When asked about their similarities, he went even further. He freely complimented Floyd's accomplishments, acknowledging his influence on the sport and referring to him as the king of the era.
Hit and not get hit. To make the adjustments that he's made to certain fighters. You know,
the pound for pound top fighter in boxing right now is Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford, I just truly believe he doesn't have to be under my company for me to give a guy props. I'm not like that. You know, if he's ever free.
Crawford went on to emphasize that, while they share many commonalities, they also have significant variances, particularly in their approach to risk. He believes he is more willing to take risks in the ring, particularly when compared to the later version of Mayweather. Crawford noted that Floyd was far more aggressive and audacious early in his career. To him, it all depends on the version of Mayweather being discussed. Whether it was the money-making phase or the gorgeous bow era, Floyd was a determined finisher. That version was different. As injuries to his hands mounted, Mayweather reacted, losing part of his power, but increasing his weight to face naturally larger opponents.
I think, I take more chances. You know, right now, earlier in his career, he was taking a lot of chances as well. So,
Crawford maintained that he and Mayweather share many similarities, but it hasn't prevented fans from arguing who would win if they ever met in the ring. Those analogies have only grown louder, with some recent opinion polls predicting Crawford as the likely winner, a hypothetical showdown. Still, when it comes to technical skill, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is practically impossible to ignore. Few boxers in history have produced more faultless exhibitions of the sweet science than Floyd, who established an unrivaled standard for timing, defense, and precision.
Depends on which Floyd Mayweather you talk about. Do you talk about money or do you talk about Pretty Boy? Because Pretty Boy was the seek and destroy.
And he's going to go to any company. If he's a free agent, I would love to work with him if he's free. Because I know that what I can do to take him to that next level. Because with Jim Stanley, raw talent, hell of a fighter. There's a lot of hell of a fighters out there.
Mayweather's razor-sharp jab, immaculate accuracy, top timing, and world-class counterpunching enabled him to ruthlessly crush opponent after opponent. What made it even more impressive was that he accomplished this during two distinct periods of his career, developing his style while maintaining his dominance at the highest level.
He's gonna reach on the left hooks again. And the lightning hand speed extraordinary. Left hook drops him. And then he hits his head off in 1 minute.
According to Crawford, the early version known as Pretty Boy Floyd was significantly more offensive, pressing the action and overwhelming opponents, whereas the latter Money Mayweather relied on calculation, control, and technical genius to outperform rivals round after round. No matter which version people like, all eras contributed to the legend of Floyd Mayweather Jr. In comparison, fans are still astonished by Crawford's superiority against Terrell Spence Jr. in his most recent fight.
Larry Ho.
Defensive work.
Pernell with it.
Chin.
But delivered an elite-level boxing clinic. From the stiff jab he constantly blasted through Spence's protection to his comfort trading punches in close quarters, to the perfect timing on his replies. Crawford had showed brilliance before, but it had never looked as lethal against someone of Spence's magnitude. When it comes to sheer technical proficiency, it is difficult to argue that anyone should be placed higher than Mayweather. Crawford's method, however, is unique to him, different in rhythm, risky in execution, and explosive when an opportunity arises, so the true excitement comes from thinking how those styles might mix. If Prime Crawford fought Prime Mayweather, with but unleashing laser-focused blows versus Floyd's disciplined command of the sweet science, who would control the jab? Who would win the fight of timing and counters?
Footwork.
There are so many possible outcomes to this contest that it's tempting to label it a draw in terms of style and competence. How many times have we seen Mayweather carefully lure opponents into the center of the ring, gathering information, evaluating patterns, and devising a strategy to dismantle them? His ring intellect, along with the idea of hitting without being struck, sealed his status as an unbeaten 5-division world champion and Hall of Famer. Crawford, who is now undefeated at junior welterweight and welterweight, has consistently demonstrated great ring IQ throughout his career. While Mayweather's hand speed, particularly on the counters, is legendary, Crawford's precise angles and whip-like blows give him a significant advantage in sheer speed and explosiveness.
Legacy.
Mayweather's 50 victories included 27 knockouts. Crawford, on the other hand, has 40 wins, 31 of which have come by way of stoppage, and he is continuously improving. Take a look at Crawford's masterpiece against Terrell Spence Jr. when he felled him 3 times on his way to a decisive 9th-round TKO. Spence, a heavy-handed, body-focused fighter who had methodically demolished Kell Brook, Sean Porter, and Yanis Ugas to win the unified welterweight title, was no easy opponent, but Crawford made it look simple. His power was extremely important in that performance. Meanwhile, Mayweather honed his defense in the corner, combining the Philly shell with shoulder rolls, absorbing punches and using his free hand to select counters with surgical accuracy. Defensive boxing and counterpunching are accomplished at the greatest level.
Look at his defense, unbelievable. You young boxing fans are watching Floyd Mayweather, you see him the greatest defensive fighter of all time. I mean, that's how strong. You wear him and then he's still wearing him. You think you can. And again, it's not just hand.
Crawford has defensive abilities of his own, but Mayweather pushed defense to an almost faultless art form. So, picturing Crawford meeting a prime Mayweather, how would that fight play out? And who would win? The first round is anticipated to be edgy, with both combatants cautiously feeling each other out. Crawford would likely be the busier man early on, throwing combos and connecting on a regular basis, despite Mayweather's shoulder rolls and elbows absorbing many strikes. By the middle rounds, Mayweather's distinctive approach would take over, with him peppering Crawford with clean jabs and quietly claiming control of the scorecards.
Over to the head, the way he rolls, he punches. Look at the way he makes it miss. I mean, here we go. Do a series of fight, this is nothing really lands.
Nonetheless, with continuous pressure and powerful striking, Crawford may find openings to score punches that sting Mayweather, possibly even damage him briefly. In such a close fight, Crawford's skill set, speed, angles, and punishing combinations may be enough to convince the judges, favoring his volume and aggression over Mayweather's systematic defensive mastery and potentially handing but a points victory in a historic battle of styles.
Well, Crawford cares about his life, and with that fight, what do that fight do for Canelo fighting Crawford, and Crawford beats Canelo? What do that do for Canelo? I just think that there are so many other fights to make that's realistic, it makes sense, and less life risking on top of the risk that we risk stepping in there with guys.
Terence Crawford, a 4-weight division champion, has shown an open interest in challenging Canelo Alvarez, the current super middleweight champion. However, Crawford faces a significant weight disadvantage in a hypothetical battle, making it a tough assignment.
Booth time to take over and start beating the guys around him. He's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy.
Roy Jones Jr., a former heavyweight champion, commented on a hypothetical fight between Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. While recognizing Crawford's great skills and skill set, Jones Jr. viewed Canelo as the likely favorite. He emphasized Canelo's tremendous punching power as a significant factor that could decide the outcome of the bout.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying like, hey, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Madrimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. Give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What do you got to prove to Boots? Boots time to take over and start beating the guys around.
His breakdown demonstrates how important it would be for Crawford to counter Canelo's feared knockout power. If Crawford can demonstrate his technical prowess while avoiding Alvarez's shattering punches, he has a chance to produce a career-defining upset. Although a Canelo-Crawford showdown is every fan's dream, Alvarez is presently focusing on his upcoming bout.
The guys around him, he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy. Why would he? Bud looking to try to make history and get out. Get his big bank and get out. His big bank is who? Canelo. He will take that gamble, see if he can beat him. If he beats him, he may go fight gonna beat this nigga. If he don't beat him, he say, okay, I took it as high as I could go. I'm done.
And now you want me to do something. Canelo's not coming down to 60.
It's Crawford who wants it. He wants the chance to prove that he's the best.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And and again, that's one of what's happening on a shakeup of the New World Order, where you got fighters that's really 54 at best.
The interim champion of the International Boxing Federation, William Skull, has emerged as a prospective contender. However, Roy Jones Jr. did not always intend to go in this manner. The Hall of Famer, who is now promoter, trainer, and highly recognized commentator, had previously presented scenarios in which he believed Terence Crawford and David Benavidez might defeat Alvarez before altering his earlier predictions.
Big for Crawford, I'm not sure about that because Crawford does have punching power and shock, but I think Canelo's a little big. He showed tonight that he's pretty big, so I probably would rather see
David Benavidez, a two-time 168-pound champion, has been pushing hard for a fight at Alvarez for the past few years. Meanwhile, Crawford, once regarded as the best welterweight in the world, is willing to move up to weight divisions to battle the Mexican superstar. Alvarez, on the other hand, insists that defeating Crawford will not greatly boost his legacy, despite the fact that many experts and fans believe Crawford has a legitimate chance of winning.
Charlo fight Crawford first, and then see how that goes. If he does good against Charlo with the weight, then let's see him come up and fight Canelo. Yes, but not right now. I want to see Crawford come up with some weight classes and show he can be dominant at 54. You understand? Crawford won a pound best.
You take on a Canelo who can actually fight a cruiserweight and maybe give a cruiserweight, especially at this moment, all the hell they can want. If you can't hurt a guy like Canelo, and you don't have height and depth to be able to at least have something to work with, then we're going to see another, what they say, boring fight, not say a smart fight,
Jones, who competed in many weight classes during the latter stages of his four-division championship career, recommended Alvarez to concentrate on his progress as super middleweight.
You know, being that you're obviously again appealing to Team Crawford, can you confirm? Are we gonna see that fight? Has it been made official? Is it official?
It's on, baby. September 13th, baby. Look forward to it. Crawford versus Canelo.
Heard it.
Listen how I said it.
Hey, are we getting this confirmation here first?
You understand?
Last year, Canelo Alvarez entered the ring on September 14th, close to Mexican Independence Day. This year's traditional September bout will take place on September 13th, as per custom. According to reports, the Mexican superstar has reserved the T-Mobile Arena for that date, setting up a clash with Terence Crawford, nearly precisely 1 year after his battle against Edgar Berlanga at the same venue, which coincided with a huge UFC event.
You never know in boxing. I'll go up and down and fight everybody out there. So it's possible.
Rumors have circulated that Canelo Alvarez may face Terence Crawford in a blockbuster super fight scheduled for late 2025. The Mexican superstar is a true sporting hero, with a career filled with remarkable feats. Both he and Crawford are presently considered among the top pound-for-pound fighters in boxing, making a fight between the two highly anticipated. While Canelo is getting older, it hasn't impeded his progress or lessened his status as one of the sport's public faces. However, fans have expressed dissatisfaction with some of his recent opponent selections, with many claiming he has been avoiding great challengers such as David Benavidez.
I understand the money grab. I understand it's about the bag. Crawford ain't 26. Another major network is saying they packing their bags up. You will see a lot of desperate moves jumping off. You will see a lot of very unrealistic, unorthodox, crazy thinking, crazy.
You know, being that you're obviously again appealing to Team Crawford, can you confirm? Are we gonna see that fight? Has it been made official? Is it official?
It's on, baby. September 13th, baby. Look forward to it. Crawford versus Canelo.
Heard it.
Listen how I said it.
Hey, are we getting this
Crawford
confirmation here
Canelo.
first?
You understand? Yeah, it's confirmed. Man, what?
Say less.
Crawford versus Canelo, not the other way around. Team Crawford stand up, pound for pound, the best in the world. Soon.
Alvarez continues to pack venues wherever he competes. Regardless of the opponent, that trend is set to continue later this year, with a highly anticipated fight versus Terence Crawford all but guaranteed. Everything points to September 13th, that the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas is the most likely date and location. But can Canelo stay idle till then? It appears questionable. According to Boxing Scene, the next fight's date and location may have been revealed. On Thursday, the site said that for combat cards had already been scheduled on the Strip for March 22nd, March 29th, April 5th, and May 3rd. The final one is currently unknown.
Crawford, he's a great fighter, and I always say that, no disrespect him, but you know, sometimes it's a little crazy that people talking about a small fighter like Charlo. He's big.
Canelo will be paying particular attention to the May 3rd date since, with the exception of the COVID-impacted year of 2020, he has routinely fought around Cinco de Mayo weekend, with 3 of those bouts taking place at the T-Mobile Arena since 2019. The design makes it simple to connect the dots, but nothing is fixed in stone given the gravity of a future Crawford conflict. Alvarez may choose to take more time off to be fresh, but his track record suggests he rarely sits idle for long. In terms of potential opponents, William Skull appears to be the frontrunner. The IBF super middleweight champion has apparently been in talks with Canelo's team since early this year.
And everybody's talking about if I'm gonna face Crawford, fighter 147, who is smaller than Charlo. So no make sense when you guys say that right now. At the end of the day, I don't want to have.
Canelo is now 34 years old, and while he has shown no symptoms of slowing down, he is undoubtedly approaching the end of his career. According to a recent interview with Ring magazine, he spoke up on when he would retire, admitting he isn't sure but recognizes that the finish line is drawing closer. Despite this, he claims he feels stronger than ever, which he has demonstrated numerous times inside the ring. Canelo recommended that about the age of 38 would be an appropriate time to actively contemplate retiring. He also reminisced on his career, stating that he has faced difficult fights and taken chances that he may not have required at the time, but it has always been part of his mindset. He clearly enjoys difficulties and is continuously looking for opportunities to demonstrate his ability. He claims he does not often reflect on his personal record. His trainer does it, but looking at all of his accomplishments, it's evident that he's done things on par with any world champion, which is quite astounding.
You and Terence Crawford as one of the top 5 fights that he wants to see this year. Is that a fight that you're considering now?
We'll see. We'll see. Everything is possible. We'll see. We want to talk about it, sit down really well and figure out.
Canelo Alvarez last faced Edgar Berlanga in September 2024, winning another fight in his illustrious career. Rumors are circulating that a battle with Terence Crawford could take place in 2025. At this point, the fight's future is undetermined. Both fighters have existing obligations, and any deal will be contingent on contract discussions and strategic decisions by their respective camps. Few boxers have really faced Crawford and Canelo in the professional ring. The only man to do so was Amir Khan, who suffered stoppage losses in both. Khan has previously expressed his thoughts on how a potential Crawford-Canelo fight may play out.
What do I think of that fight? I think that, everybody knows that Crawford got the stage. I do think that Canelo's a little big for Crawford.
A few fighters have had the opportunity to spar with both men, and one of them has now revealed his ideas on how this ideal matchup could play out. Coron Davis, a middleweight contender, previously fought Canelo's adversary David Benavidez in November 2021. Davis, who trained with both Bud and Canelo, told Mill City Boxing that he expects Crawford to have a strong test. Tipping the scales in favor of Alvarez, he explained that Canelo is a big, tough fighter who can take punishment, therefore Crawford would be unlikely to harm him with a single punch. Davis said that Crawford could be able to nick him, produce a cut around his eye, or land body blows, but the Mexican star's toughness would make it incredibly difficult to land a fight-ending punch.
It'll be a lot to get that victory based on, the size alone. Not that size in the fights, but you got the guy ain't got size and skill.
Crawford, according to Davis, will need to come in close, work the body, and rack up damage over time because it will be a huge struggle. Canelo is well known for his fighting ability. He possesses the abilities, traps, and experience that make him a threat in the ring. Nothing is impossible, but if Davis had to place a wager, he would go with Alvarez. He stressed that this is not a knock on Crawford, who is an exceptional fighter in his own right, but Canelo's size and one-punch power make him a legitimate threat to terminate the fight. Floyd Mayweather's motivation for pursuing an exhibition bout with Terence Crawford remains unclear.
Crawford. But you never know. You never know in boxing. I'll go up and down.
However, as Eddie Hearn mentioned at their discussion earlier this year, Floyd Mayweather tends to rely on exhibition fights when money is tight. Even though he denied it to Hearn, Mayweather's latest call-out of Terence Crawford has aroused much suspicion about his true intentions. Meanwhile, fans await Crawford's answer to all of this, as well as the showdown that embodies Crawford's unwavering pursuit of greatness, a prospective battle versus Canelo Alvarez. That's it for now. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and enable notifications to never miss out on the most recent boxing news, highlights, and updates.